Hello and welcome to Vanta. It's semi-finals day at the 17th staging of the Sudirman Cup. Play's going to get underway very shortly, but Steen and I are just going to have a quick chat about the semi-finals today. And the first of our semi-finals features the two most successful teams in the history of this competition. 11 times winners China against the 4-time winners Korea. And Steen, the all-important order of play, we have mixed doubles, men's singles, men's doubles and women's doubles. We have to take it in order. First match, mixed doubles, we have the Olympic champions Wang Yilu and Huang Dongping. They haven't dropped a game all tournament so far.
Oh, they've looked really, really impressive throughout the tournament, and in my opinion, the strongest card in the Chinese lineup. So up against the scratch Korean pair, that's gonna. It looks like 1-0 for China, but it's gonna be interesting to see what they can do.
Yes, we've been trying to find out where is Che Yu-jung in the mixed doubles. Usually plays with Su Xiang-jae.
Yeah.
She hasn't played all week. We assume she must be injured. We don't even know if she's here because we follow the protocols and therefore we haven't been able to speak to the team managers. Let's look at the men's singles because Shi Uchi, former silver medalist at World Championships, but he's lost his last 2 matches. In the last of the group matches against Pedersen of Thailand, and then in the quarterfinal lost to Victor Axelsen in Denmark. He's not looking in great form.
No, I think especially the loss to Pedersen, even though Pedersen is young and improving, I still think that was a bit disappointing for Xiuqi. We know he's struggling against Axelsen, and Axelsen seems in good shape. And we also know that Xiuqi has just won the Chinese national championships, played the 2 weeks before this Sudirman Cup here. So he might be on the downside of his peak, so to speak.
Yes, and looking at his opponent, Ho Kwang-hee, he's had a fantastic tournament so far. He's won his last 2 matches, but he's needed 3 games to do so. And I do wonder, I've wondered in the past about his stamina going through tournaments. He of course beat the #1 seed in the Olympic Games, Kento Momota, and then faltered in the quarter-final stage. And I'm concerned for Korea. He might be running out of steam.
Yeah, but I think he's played well when he's playing upwards. Yeah. I saw one of the first matches where he played German Max Weiskirchen and was a player who's ranked considerably lower than the players he's played the last 2 matches. And he was in big problems in that match where he was the favorite. So I think he's much better when playing upwards, just like we saw at the Olympics.
Yes, so when he's the underdog. Third match, women's singles. The Olympic champion, Chen Yufei, up against Ang Si-young. Now, I have to say, Ang Si-young has never actually beaten Chen Yufei. They've had 5 previous meetings. She's never won one. But in the quarterfinal against Cho Chu-wong, who was in the final of the All England Championships earlier this year, the second game was 21-3. Yeah. She must be in great form.
Very impressive, in my opinion. I think if she wants to beat Chen Yufei, then now is a good time. I'm a little surprised about the Korean lineup because I would have tried to put some more psychological pressure on China, and especially Chen Yufei. I think we saw it against Denmark. She was struggling mentally against Mia Blichfeld. She knew she had to win, otherwise China would have most likely been out of the tournament. They would have fallen down 3-0 to Denmark, and I don't think Chen Yufei played her best in that match. So this is going to be a very important match, and the complexity depends on how the first 2 matches unfold.
Exactly. You always build and feed off the earlier matches in the tie. There's no question of that. I think that women's singles could be the match of the day. I really do.
I think so too.
And the most important, as you say. Hopefully we'll move on to the men's doubles and the women's doubles. But of course, in the semi-final ties, any dead matches are not contested. Now, here's an interesting thing. China are using a 4th different men's doubles pair in their 5th match of the campaign. They've selected Liu Cheng and Wang Yilu. So Wang Yilu is playing 2 matches up against the established Koreans of Choi So-gul and Suh Seung-jae. Now, the Koreans haven't been playing particularly well. They lost to the Thailand pair yesterday, Jomko and Pedersen.
Yeah, that was very surprising to me that they lost against Thailand. I still would have preferred, from a Korean perspective, to have this match as the first match. We saw the Danes in the quarterfinal spring a surprise against China, winning the men's doubles and thus putting China under a lot of pressure. I think it's a sign that China is not comfortable with the men's doubles players they have at the moment. Wang Yilu is the go-to guy. He's the on the road to be the MVP if China is going to defend the Sudirman Cup. So that's the one player that they are banking on, that he can make a difference in that men's double.
Yep, I totally agree with you. Women's doubles, if it comes down to the 5th match, and all of us badminton fans certainly hope it does come down to the 5th match, you've got the Olympic silver medalists Chen Qingcheng and Jia Yifan up against the 4th place pair in the Olympic Games. So a second match of the day for Shin Seung-chan, playing with Lee So-hee, of course.
Yeah, and that's the selection that I don't understand. Maybe there's injuries, there must be injuries. If they want to play Shin Seung-chan in the mixed doubles, then I would not play her in the women's doubles. I would have opted for Kim and Kong, who, as I recall it, I haven't really checked upon it yet, but as I recall it, they have a better head-to-head against Chen and Jia than Lee and Shin, who has never beaten the Chinese as far as I'm concerned.
Well, that is the first of our semi-finals, and of course at 4 o'clock local time, then the second. Japan, who've twice been in the final of the Sudirman Cup, including the last time in Nanning, they're the number 2 seeds, up against Malaysia. It's actually a repeat of the Group D encounter early in the week when Japan won 4-1. Now, we don't actually know the order of play. We don't know who's selected yet, but Malaysia, last night, you were calling the match, their quarter-final. They beat the number 3 seeds, Indonesia. It's the first time ever they've beaten them in a mixed world team competition. It was absolutely sensational. Came down to the mixed doubles, the 5th match, and I can't really see Malaysia changing their lineup from that winning team last night. Can you?
No, I don't think they will change it. They played really well. The bunch of youngsters that they have in their team, they looked really, really hungry. And maybe they could try a change in women's singles with Ion Chi-Xian instead of Salvador Kisuna, but I don't think that will make a big difference. Yamaguchi is the overwhelming favorite. Interesting to see what Japan does in women's doubles. They won in the group stage against Pearly Tan and Tina, but Chiharu Shida, she rolled her left ankle, so they probably will have to go with the scratch pair of Matsutomo and Matsumoto like we saw yesterday in the quarterfinals. So it's going to be an interesting match as well to see if Malaysia can turn the tides on Japan.
And of course, the match that everybody will look forward to in the second of our semi-finals is the men's singles. Kenta Momota, the world number 1, against Lee Sijia.
I'd forgotten that. No, I hadn't. Lee Sijia played really well against Anthony Ginting yesterday, and he must be out for revenge against Momota. He started out so well in the group stage, but it was also an important win for Momota. You could see that.
Yes.
That meant that, hey, I'm back, I can still play badminton. He was so delighted with that win. Now he needs to follow it up later on today, and that's going to be interesting to see if he can do that.
Absolutely. And anybody who watched it will remember Momota's reaction after beating Lee Sijia in the group match, and he sort of went down on his haunches and sort of pumped his fists. It was absolutely terrific. Honestly, Steen, we have got so much to look forward to today on semi-finals day, and it's all going to start literally within about half an hour. We'll see you then. Bye for now.
So it is a chilly 10 degrees here in Finland today, and what we have seen all week is that the shuttle is flying incredibly slowly in the arena. Now I expect to see exactly the same today, and what that means is that we're in for some very physical very grueling matches. Now, as a player in a slow hall, my approach would be to try and manoeuvre my opponents to use the full dimensions of the court before going in with the killer attack. That is because if players are on balance, it is really easy to defend in slow halls like this. So you're definitely going to see a lot of exchanges between attack and defence, and hopefully some long, exciting rallies. And I'm sure we're in for an absolute treat with today's semi-finals.
Follow your favorite badminton players, like me, at the new Badminton for You app. Download now.